Welcome to Lesson 3. Almost every app that stores private data needs to verify who you are before letting you in. Today we're going to build that system from scratch using pseudocode. Along the way you'll learn how to compare values, make decisions, and keep a running count of failed attempts, which is exactly how a real login system works under the hood. The core of any login system is a comparison. Somewhere in the system, the correct username and password are stored as values, usually in a database. When you try to log in, the program compares what you typed to those stored values. If both match, you get in. If either one is different, access is denied. That's the whole concept. Everything else, like lockouts and session tokens, builds on top of this basic comparison. The comparison we need is exactly. This checks whether two values are identical and returns either true or false. For text values, capitalization matters. The string Alex is not the same as Alex as far as the computer is concerned. That's an important rule for login systems because a username typed in the wrong case would fail to check even if the letters are right. Now we pair that comparison with a decision. An if block runs its indented statements when the condition is true. Otherwise is the fallback. It runs when the condition was false. End if closes the block. Exactly one of the two branches runs each time. The program either goes into the if block or into the otherwise block, never both. A real login needs to check two things, the username and the password. We handle both by nesting one if inside another. The outer if checks the username first. Only if that passes does the program reach the inner if, which checks the password. If both match, the user gets in. If the username is wrong, we never even look at the password. This is efficient. There is no point checking the password for a username that doesn't exist. A real login system doesn't just say wrong and forget about it. Once we have the failed attempts counter, we can add a lockout. The lockout check goes at the very top before the login comparison. If the counter has already reached the limit, the program shows a lockout message and doesn't attempt the password check at all. Notice we use a greater than or equal comparison here. That means 3 failed attempts, or any number higher, triggers the lock. This matches how real systems work. They refuse the attempt before it even starts if the account is already blocked. Here is the full login flow in order. First, check whether the account is already locked. If it is, stop there. If not, check the username. If the username passes, check the password. On success, a real system would reset the failed attempts counter to 0 because the person proved their identity. On failure, it increments the counter. Every login form you've ever filled out runs roughly the same sequence of steps. In this lesson, we built a login check from scratch. We used is_exactly to compare values, if and otherwise to act on the result, nested if blocks to check 2 conditions in sequence, and the counter pattern to track failures and trigger a lockout. These patterns appear in nearly every real system that needs to verify identity.